Coming up, more questions surround one of President-elect Trump's controversial cabinet picks.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The Trump transition marches ahead as controversy builds over several of the president-elect's choices, including his pick of Matt Gaetz for U.S. Attorney General. CBS's Christian Benavidez reports from West Palm Beach, Florida.
President-elect Donald Trump says he is picking former Wisconsin Representative Sean Duffy, now a Fox News host, to be his transportation secretary. The announcement comes as Trump's choice of Matt Gaetz for U.S. Attorney General faces a backlash from Democrats and some Republicans on Capitol Hill.
Mr. Gaetz has been credibly accused of engaging in sexual misconduct with a minor, illicit drug use, sex trafficking, bribery, and obstructing government investigations into his alleged misconduct. And I might remind those listening to this debate, we're talking about Donald Trump's choice to be the Attorney General of the United States of America.
Senate Judiciary Chairman Dick Durbin called on the House Ethics Committee to share their report on its investigation into Gaetz's alleged behavior. Gaetz has denied all wrongdoing and called the committee's investigation a smear. Two sources tell CBS News the committee is expected to meet this Wednesday. Joel Leopard is the attorney for two women who testified before the committee. He said his clients told the panel they were paid to have sex with Gaetz at a party in Orlando, Florida in 2017. One woman testified she witnessed Gaetz having sex with a minor.
She arrived at the party. She had sex with Representative Gaetz within minutes of her arrival. Later on, when she was walking out to the pool area, she observed to her right Representative Gaetz having sex with her friend, who was 17 at the time.
Under Trump Attorney General Bill Barr, the Department of Justice launched an investigation into Gaetz in 2019. But last year, the Biden Justice Department informed him they would not be bringing charges. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
One source familiar with Gaetz's legal position has questioned the credibility of the women and argued their recollections would not have withstood cross-examination in court had it come to that. The Biden administration is urging Congress to quickly pass a massive disaster relief spending bill. Nearly half of the roughly $100 billion requested will go to FEMA's Disaster Relief Fund. The bill also includes funding for other agencies, including the Departments of Agriculture, Transportation, and the Small Business Administration. The request comes as Americans in the Southeast are still cleaning up from major back-to-back hurricanes Helene and Milton.
My goodness, what a beautiful start to the work week. We had temperatures in the 60s and 70s. We made it to 72 in Somerset, 71 in Monticello, 64 was the high in Hazard, 67 in Jackson. Pikeville made it to 62. Clintwood and Wise made it to 61 degrees, and right now Wise is sitting at 55. The Double Nickels, 47 in Clintwood as well as Grundy, 52 in London, 53 in Irvin, 58 in Jackson, 52 in Hazard as well as Ashland. Live pinpoint Doppler radar right now showing a clean sweep across the area, but our next weather maker is just off towards the west. You can see it forming across southwestern Indiana, western Kentucky, western Tennessee. That's the cold front that's going to push through. And it's going to drop the temperatures just a smidge on Wednesday, but ahead of that is the rain chances. So here's your planner for tonight. We'll see temperatures in the mid-50s by the 3 o'clock hour. Rain chances will pick up as we go throughout the morning hours. Overnight low will be 55. Look at the winds, though. They'll be light out of the southwest. Now, coming up in the first alert forecast, all eyes are on Thursday and Friday. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. A Whitley County couple charged in the death of a 4-year-old face new charges. Adam Hayes and Brittany Slaughter are both accused of murder in the death of 4-year-old Chloe Darnell, who was discovered in a shallow grave last year. A superseding indictment additionally charged them with criminal abuse. The Whitley County Commonwealth's attorney has filed a notice to seek the death penalty for Adam Hayes. Both pleaded not guilty to all the charges, and attorneys say they hope to set a trial date early next year. The Perry County Sheriff's Office started investigating reports of a school threat against Perry County Central High School Sunday. A TikTok account was made insinuating there would be a shooting at the school this week. Investigators with the Sheriff's Office and KSP's Electronic Crimes Unit contacted social media companies and obtained subpoenas and search warrants. Sheriff Joe Ingalls says a minor was arrested and charged with terroristic threatening.
Anytime there's a threat to any of our schools, we're going to come with the stiffest penalty we can. We're always going to charge. We're always going to take that caution to protect the kids.
Sheriff Ingalls says the minor is not a student at Perry Central. He encourages parents to monitor their children's phones and apps they use to avoid incidents like this. Police in southern Kentucky arrested a man following a chase. It happened last week on Highway 92 in Williamsburg. Police say Charles Bryant was driving recklessly and refused to stop. Officers chased him onto Highway 25 before he crashed. He was then taken into custody. Bryant is now facing DUI and fleeing charges. In Laurel County, the London Police Department says they are increasing patrols with the holiday season approaching. The department says more patrols will help maintain the safety of all citizens during a busy, more chaotic time of the year on the roadways. The department says officers will focus on traffic violations such as speeding, running stop signs, and other infractions. Appalachian Regional Healthcare has partnered with the Kentucky Department of Agriculture to create the Farmer Care Initiative. The initiative increases access to physical and mental screenings for farmers. Paige Cash, who's a member of Future Farmers of America, says the initiative can help farmers who do not think they can ask for support.
They don't want to ask for help, and they think that they can do everything for themselves. And, you know, sometimes it's just frowned upon for them to ask for help. So I think programs and events like this just raise awareness for those farmers.
Cash also says the screenings could help small farmers sustain their operations. Kentucky's 2025 legislative session is set to begin on Tuesday, January 7th. And while some lawmakers were in Frankfort today for various committee hearings, others attended the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce annual legislative preview. Jessica Umbro is talking priorities this legislative session with some of the lawmakers there today.
That's when the policy is formulated, that's when most of the bills are drafted, that's when the research is done on it.
Representative Josh Bray says Kentuckians can expect to see efforts made on lowering the individual income tax from 4% to 3.5%. And as co-chair of the Artificial Intelligence Task Force, he says AI will be a topic of discussion in Frankfort.
We've got the appropriate guide rails and guardrails on to protect our citizens' data, privacy, to make sure the Commonwealth's ready for the emerging technology.
With the failure to pass Constitutional Amendment 2, which would have allowed the General Assembly the option to allocate public funds for private schools, some lawmakers say they're readjusting legislative plans for this upcoming session.
We plateaued in education, maybe heading the other direction, so how can we turn that around and flip it back?
This legislative preview is also a time where some of Kentucky's newest lawmakers are preparing for their first legislative session as a member of the legislature, and each has ideas that they're hoping to bring to the table.
I've always approached things as nonpartisan.
Representative-elect Ann Gay Donworth says her biggest area of focus is on early childhood education, but she is focused on learning the ropes of what it means to be a lawmaker in Kentucky.
And I want to make sure that not only that I am doing the work that my constituents have elected me to do, but that they feel like I'm communicating that back with them.
In Lexington, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
Kentucky House and Senate members will have from January 7th through mid-February to file legislation. The session will wrap up on Friday, March 28th. Today, motions were heard in a case challenging Kentucky's abortion law. The ACLU filed the lawsuit earlier this month on behalf of a woman referred to as Mary Poe. A statement says she's making plans to get an abortion out of state because of Kentucky's ban. The only exception to that ban is to save the life of a mother. Today in court, attorneys for the ACLU asked to expand this case into a class action lawsuit on behalf of all pregnant Kentuckians. The judge will make a decision about class action status on January 3rd. Day one of the Big Blue Crush Blood Drive is in the books. This is the 37th blood drive pitting Big Blue Nation against rival Tennessee fans. It was the best first day turnout since 2019, and Kentucky has the early lead. Officials say donations tend to drop during the holidays. They are hoping the rivalry will help more donors roll up their sleeves. Thanksgiving is just more than 1 week away, and if you plan to travel, be prepared to see more people on the road. AAA predicts nearly 80 million people will travel for the holiday. Here in Kentucky, about 1 million people will take a trip. That's about 2% more than last year. AAA of the Bluegrass says 96% of travelers from the Bluegrass will drive to their destination instead of flying, and officials expect to see more travelers earlier in the week.
We're expecting that those 2 days ahead of Thanksgiving, the Tuesday and Wednesday, are going to be particularly busy. Now, when you come back, it's going to be busy again on that Sunday, Monday.
Heading into the holidays, Kentucky's gas prices remain low. The average price statewide for gas is $2.79 a gallon. Morehead State's Board of Regents has approved plans for a new residence hall. It's part of the university's campus revitalization plan. The residence hall is set to be 4 floors, all used for student housing. Morehead State says the university will begin the design phase and finalizing a location for construction in the near future. Construction is slated to start in late summer of next year and is expected to be completed by mid-fall of 2026. Morehead's board also approved a new Doctor of Engineering program.